Hello, and welcome to an exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryan, your host, and I'm welcoming you to my review of The Borrowers. This was released in 1997, and this is a family movie based on the book by Mary Norton, who wrote Bedknobs and Broomsticks, the same author who made that. So, the movie stars John Goodman, Jim Brobat, Mark Williams, Hugh Laurie, and Bradley Pierce. This is also directed by Peter Hewitt, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey director. And this was released by Polygram Films alongside working titles. But it is indeed, a Universal movie. Now you probably wonder yourself, I have another release right here, which is the 10 movie feature films collection. And that I have as well. And I'll read you the plot on that because this release doesn't really tell much of it. So let's actually talk about The Borrowers. So I'm going to read the plot on the back like I said. It says, a family of 4-inch people living beneath the floorboards must save their home from being destroyed by an evil real estate developer. So that's really the plot. And yeah, that's really the plot to this movie. But a really simple, basic plot, though, basically centers around a bunch of these small 4-inch creatures called the Borrowers. And they do explain, so right at the beginning of the film, we now see the kid's parents are talking to the real estate, I forget his name, I think it's Otis P. something. I'm probably going to butcher that name wrong. But anyways, he's a guy who wants to demolish the house because Bradley Pierce's character was given the house by his grandfather, but they didn't lease the house, and now they have to destroy it by a real estate guy they don't like. So now they move out of the place, and the borrowers, the cooks, along with Arrietty, eventually later on, years later, Studio Ghibli would make a movie called The Secret of Arrietty, which is based off of The Borrowers. So The Borrowers is an interesting movie because it started as a television show for the BBC network. So eventually that would jump to the big screen, released in the year of 1997. I believe in February 97. I could be wrong. So, and really is really good. This movie, I was really shocked. I seen bits and pieces of this movie as a kid, but I didn't see it in full. Because the only thing I remember the most was him moving out of the house. Then they meet a borrower, one of the other borrowers, which kind of reminded me, the other borrower, can't think of his name, but he kind of reminded me a little bit of Tony Taboodle from the first American Tail and the 2 direct-to-videos. Kind of like that, but not really. This movie reminds me a little bit about another movie, Mouse Hunt, which would deal with another house and the similar style that movie does. And another scene I remember in the movie is where Goodman's character gets doused in cheese sauce. And one of the little says the word, say cheese. That's like the only thing I remember in that movie. So those are like the only parts of the movie. Visually, this movie is really good. The effects, actually the visual effects was done by Peter Chang, who who worked on the show Aeon Flux for MTV back in the day. So I was like, that's really cool. So there's some really good stuff in the movie. I really like this movie. Like I said, it has a very happy ending, but the climax is really good. It has a very happy ending. And I do think John Goodman is great. I just love when John Goodman plays villain roles, and he's just really good in this. Fun fact, Tom Felton, I forgot to mention, who's in this movie, plays one of the guys, one of the cooks, and he would later go on 4 years later to star in the Harry Potter franchise as Draco Malfoy. So that's interesting. Jim Brobat, who would appear in another Working Titles production, the Bridget Jones movies, and I was looking at Letterboxd, and the mother in this movie, Brobat's wife in the movie, would also star in Bridget Jones's Diary, I believe playing the same character. Pendulum Swings. I'm sure that's not really related much, but it's just an interesting fact. I like The Borrowers. I think it's a criminally underrated family movie. The effects are great, the characters are great, everything about it is great, and it's just a very fun movie. Is there any negatives I can have with the movie? Trying to think. That's kind of hard to say. I felt the climax was a little bit tad long, so that might be the only negative. But it's a really, really good story, and just it basically if you take the movie, basically this reminds me, like I said before, it had that similar style that Mouse Hunt would have. Not to compare that with Mouse Hunt, but it just kind of reminded me a little bit. Oh, Jim the Exterminator is actually played by Mark Williams. I did like the Exterminator. At first, the Goodman's character has a mustache. So he's using one of those foam guns, and he taps him like a couple times, and he gets down to the foam gun to the point of losing his mustache. And I'm sitting there like laughing so hard. Eventually, the Exterminator gets a basset hound. That's pretty funny. So it's just, all in all, Borrowers is a fun movie. I like the climax. The visual effects are great. The costume design are truly one of a kind. I would probably say the costume design should have got an Oscar, because this is some creativity, how you do costume design. And the production design is really good. So, do I really have anything much to say about The Borrowers? It's kind of really hard to talk about a movie. You're just going to have to watch it. Keep in mind, this is escapist movies. Also, I forgot to mention that Hugh Laurie plays a cop. I did like him. Long before he portrayed Dr. House, Hugh Laurie got a start in Black Adler. And he would actually be in, well, The Borrowers as a cop. And he's a lot of fun. Hugh Laurie is a ton of fun. I'm not a House fan, but everything I watch Hugh Laurie in, he's always been fun. And one of those character actors, you see him on screen, is like, oh, yeah. Or, to quote an old nostalgia joke, that British guy, you've seen him in things but don't know his name, which is Jim Brobat. And eventually he said the same things like, screw it, it's Jim Brobat. So, yeah, I don't have much. I'm dwelling on this, like I said again. So, at the end of the day, yes, The Borrowers is a fun movie. The Borrowers is worth watching if you want a good family movie. I had a ton of fun with The Borrowers. I think this is a really well-made, visually, the visuals are really good. They make you really feel. The climax at the dairy factory is great. I can't think of Tom Felton's character, but he goes inside the milk bottle and he gets doused with milk. Basically, he goes under the milk, kind of like going underwater, but he like takes a swim in the milk. And eventually they drop the glass. The fact that Goodman's character gets doused with cheese, with cheese sauce, and the character says "say cheese" is like total 90s. Surprising enough, the end credits I didn't know, but Hanson actually sang the song in the end credits for The Borrowers, and it's actually one of the better songs Hanson did, and I was like, this is actually pretty good. I'm not a Hanson fan, but when they do stuff like that, like a song for the end credits, they can be good. Hanson can be good if you give them the right song. They do those soft songs and not like the bop era. But I digress. Borrowers is worth watching. If you like John Goodman, which I think he's one of those actors that is so likable in any role, whether it's bad or good, and Borrowers is a good family movie, and I can totally recommend this. But you'll find out. So yeah, check out The Borrowers. Let's go ahead and rate this right now. I'm gonna go ahead and rate The Borrowers. It might be a total shock. This is another one of those that went back and forth, back and forth. I kind of decided I was leaning towards 4 out of 5. Then I went back and said maybe a 3 out of 5. I kind of went back 4 out of 5. I sort of went the seesaw which one. It was a tough rating, what I was going to rate the movie. So let's go ahead and do it right now. I'm going to give Borrowers, it might shock you, a 4 out of 5. It was a hard decision. Like I said again, it's getting really hard to rate these family movies, but I figured this was sort of the back and forth from what I was going to rate. But I decided I put my chips in, I locked in my rating, and I realized a 4 out of 5 is fair enough for a family film made in the 90s. Not great, very good, very fun, a near masterpiece, whatever you like to say. So I figured, sure, 4 out of 5 seems like it's the perfect rating for this. So yeah, check out The Borrowers, guys. You won't be disappointed. If you like family movies, guys, this is definitely I can recommend. It's a good movie to watch for the entire family. If you like those types of family movies, basically take the idea of basically it's like, what if you took An American Tail crossed with Mouse Hunt and you got yourself The Borrowers. I'm not saying that's all true, but in my opinion, if you like those family movies, especially if you like those sort of like mid-90s family movies, yeah, I'm going to say The Borrowers. It's not for everyone, but if you have the time, definitely check out The Borrowers. It's definitely worth the time. So that's my review of The Borrowers. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content of the channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell to get all my video notifications so you don't miss a single video on my channel. I'm also on Letterboxd, guys. You can check me out there. You can swing on over. I rate the movies before I review them. And check out all the tons of other contents on the channel. I do tons of other videos, not just Hit UVs, but like Vlog City and collection updates. Whatever you find on the site, definitely head on over there. Check out my YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of The Borrowers. Did you guys like this movie? Did you hate this movie? Did you grow up with this movie? For me, I've only seen bits and pieces of this as a kid, but I never really watched it in whole, the whole way through until now. So yeah, check out The Borrowers. I'm not going to try to stay too long in this video and try to make this like a whole 2 hours or whatever minutes I put on there. So check out The Borrowers. It's definitely worth checking out if you like those family movies from the 90s. So that's it, guys. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.